Hi everyone, it's Missy and I'm outside in my garden today. We have some glads that I grow and I need to winterize them. I live in Minnesota and it's growing zone, it's 4, 3, or 5. They keep switching it. I'm like right on the thin border part of this, but they're not, glads aren't winter hardy for me here. And we've had light frosts, and now this Friday they're predicting a heavy killing frost. We're supposed to get down into the 20s, and we've been in the 30s at night, and then during the day we get up to around 70. I think today the high was 80. We have a big temperature switch here, but I have to get these glads out of the ground. I've already started. I actually own almost 100 glad bulbs. I started with 16, but my glads are always splitting on me and I can't throw them out if they're good. And I do love the flowers, so I actually have a border going around my garden, my vegetable garden, which is really pretty in the summer. But what you're going to need is a cardboard box, and this, or a cardboard flat, something that you can put the bulbs in. You want to make sure that your bulbs are single layer. You don't want them to be piled up because they can rot, mold on you, and you want them to be dry. Another thing that I use, of course, is a scissors. I need that to cut off the tops, and then a spade. And for those of you who, when I have a killing frost, I don't wait for the foliage to die back. I take them when they're green, because if I don't and I leave them in the ground, they're going to die. The bulbs are going to rot in the ground and I won't have time to save them. But you do want them, if they're turning brown like this, then they've already been hit by a light frost. You can see the stem over here is brown. This is brown. They're actually dormant. As soon as they start yellowing in the leaves, they're going dormant. So I'm not digging them up too quick here. And another rule of thumb that I've always played with too, put on your calendar the last time they flower. Mine shoot up 3 to 4 flower stalks a piece. But once that flower is dead, mark it on your calendar if you can, and you wait 8 weeks. You have enough growth or generation in the bulbs to dig them up as well, even though they're still green, which these do. So my ground is a little hard. Sometimes you can just take the stalk and just pull them up, but I take a shovel and I just dig, and be careful not to actually hit the bulb, scrape the bulb. These things, when I plant them in the spring, they're only like 3 to 4 inches below the soil, but my soil will erode and then it'll be like closer to 3 inches. So you just dig on the side. This one's really down in there. And like I said, you'll be able to see the bulb. The bulbs, if they're still growing, are pink in color, and if they have gone completely dormant, they are like brownish tannish in color if you've never dug them up before. And I really encourage you to dig them up and save them if you can. If they're brown and mushy, don't save them. They're rotten, and they won't keep in storage, and they'll actually ruin the batch that are good. And you don't want that. It's better to lose one bulb than to lose a whole batch. So, alright, so I got it loose enough. I just pull it up, and then I cut, so it's about 1/2 inch of the stem is cut off. So like that. I leave the roots intact. I try to brush off as much dirt as I can, just so that way, this one's lost its peel, but this bottom portion is actually the part that I planted in the spring. This top portion, this is what you want to keep. This is where all the nutrients went, and so forth. So then I just put it in the box, and then I store them in an open box in my basement. My basement is unheated. I have like a cellar type basement, and they just keep checking on the bulbs. I go down there about several times a week just to make sure that they're not shriveling up. If they are shriveling up, you just sprinkle some water on them. If you see some mold growing, they're too close together, they need some air movement, you could put them on a screen to help get air flow around them, or you can even bag them up like you do onions in those mesh bags and so forth. Okay, so I got some bigger ones here. When they have more than one stem coming up, I know I got 2 bulbs under here. What I mean by 2 bulbs is I didn't plant 2 bulbs. The bulbs split, and you have this deal where they I mean, 2 different bulbs are growing off of the one crown that I planted. Another thing that you see is that I have a lot of little bulbs coming. I usually save those. They're not going to amount to much the next year, but the year after, they might actually grow into larger bulbs. Now you know why I have so many glads. I have all these little ones that I save too. You don't have to save them if you don't want to. That's a personal preference. But this is the one that I was after. This one that has 2 stems. You can see it's 2 separate stems. If I can dig it out for you. I think it's coming. Here we go. So now you can see I have 2 separate bulbs. I mean large bulbs. I'm going to cut both of them off. I'm not going to separate these. I'm going to leave these together for winter storage. When I plant them in the spring, I'll separate them and put them in their each individual hole. That's another question that people always have too when they dig up and they find this. So, and these little bulbs, I don't pull them off and put them in separate holes. I'll just split this apart. If they hang on to these bigger bulbs, they'll just go in the ground with the bigger bulbs. I'm not too worried about that. But you can see, this is the bulb I planted. And you can see how 2 of them, I mean, this one grew off this one grew off that one. I mean, that's just what I get a lot of the time. So that's how you get more glads each and every year. I got another one here. I'm pretty sure is the same story. We got 2 stems. Here we go. Same thing. 2 bulbs for next year. And I planted the one in the middle here. And then there's 2 here. So, like I said, if they're splitting on you, that's a good thing. They're getting enough nutrients that they're reproducing. I mean, that's really good if you can get them to look like that. Even if you have a single bulb that's really big, like the first one I showed you, that's also good. You're really doing well. If these bulbs are shrinking, so this is about the size of growth for 1 year. If they split, they're going to be smaller. That's okay. But if I had one that was smaller than this one, they're shrinking. They're not getting enough nutrients. They're not getting enough water. You know, you need to provide for these, especially when they're flowering, to save them and so forth. So otherwise, if you want to treat them as an annual too, and just let them go. Of course, you won't be watching this video digging up your bulbs either, but make sure this is good. If they're shrinking on you, you need to give them more fertilizer and nutrients during the year when they grow. That's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. A lot of people, like I said, the main issue is, when do I dig these up? As soon as you see this brown foliage, it's going dormant, go ahead and dig them up and just put them in storage. Make sure that you place them in a storage area where they're not going to freeze. And my basement does get pretty cold. It gets down to 40 degrees, but it doesn't freeze. So I hope that this helps you guys. And I also do the same thing with my callas and my dahlias as well for the tubers. So if you have any questions or you want some more information, leave a comment for me below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. I hope you enjoy your day. Thanks for watching. Bye.